Hello students, myself Dr. Richa Srivastava, and in this video lecture I am going to discuss the generation of waveform using astable multivibrators. So we will see how the waveforms will be generated using astable multivibrators. We have already discussed the generation of waveform using bistable multivibrator. This is the circuit diagram for astable multivibrator. As we can see, this is the operational amplifier, this triangular box, and the positive terminal of the operational amplifier, it is having a feedback. It means it is having the positive feedback, and here with positive feedback it is having the R and C, they are connected at the negative terminal of this operational amplifier. In bistable multivibrator there was no this R and C connection, but in astable multivibrator we are having this extra circuitry of R and C. Now how this circuit it generates the square wave, that we will see. The formula for gain, it is output voltage, it is V naught is equal to A times V plus minus of V minus. This is the output voltage, it is A times, this is the gain of the amplifier, V plus minus V minus. Now V plus, this is the gain of the, this is the output voltage of the op amp, it is A times V plus minus V minus. V plus, it is the voltage at positive terminal, and V minus, it is the voltage at the negative terminal. Now here we can see there is no input signal, but because of some offset or noise we can assume that some offset it is present at the output or noise is present at the output. So with this assumption V naught, it can be written as A V plus, it is some positive voltage because of this noise, or we can say offset, and V minus, it is at 0. So now since the voltage of this positive terminal is greater than V minus, so the output of op amp it will be at plus V sat, or we can say it will be at L plus. So here in this diagram we can see that the first assumption, because of this offset, or we can say the noise voltage, the output of op amp it is at plus V sat, or it is at L plus. Now if this L plus voltage it is at the output, what will happen? This capacitor it will be charged through this voltage, and this capacitor it will start charging. The capacitor from this point it will start charging to the voltage beta L plus. Now what is this beta L plus voltage? Why this threshold it has been assumed that the capacitor it will charge to beta L plus? Because here the voltage is L plus, if we assume, then here the voltage will be beta times L plus. Now what is this beta? V naught into R1 divided by R1 plus R2, it will be V plus. So V plus it can be written as beta times V naught, where beta is what? It is R1 upon R1 plus R2. So now with this voltage at this positive terminal, the capacitor will be charged to this limit only. Why? Because when the capacitor it will be charged to the voltage V plus, after that the voltage of this terminal it will become higher as compared to V plus, means it will charge to this point, and after this point the potential of the negative terminal it will become higher than the positive terminal, and the output of op amp it will shift to minus V sat, or we can say this as L minus also. Now since the output it has shifted to L minus, now the voltage at V plus terminal it will change. Once the output of op amp it is at a minus V sat, means if we assume that output is at minus V sat, or we can say this as L minus, then what will happen? The capacitor, it will start discharging. Now, what will be the discharging point, means after which point the discharging of the capacitor it will stop? That point will be this lower threshold, and it will be beta L minus. Why beta L minus? Again, the potential, if the output voltage is at L minus, the V plus voltage, it will be R1 divided by R1 plus R2 multiplied by L minus. It means it will be beta times L minus. So, again the threshold limit, means the point at which the capacitor it will stop discharging, it is beta L minus. So, it will charge up to beta L plus and discharge up to beta L minus, because these are the points at which the output of op-amp it will shift from plus Vsat to minus Vsat. Now, this diagram, it shows the waveforms at various nodes of the circuit. This is at the output node, here this is the square wave we are getting, and this is the voltage at the capacitor, means how the charging of capacitor and how the discharging of capacitor it will take place. Next is the voltage V plus. This is the voltage at the positive terminal of the operational amplifier, and this voltage it will change from beta L plus to beta L minus. This is beta L plus and this is beta L minus, and with this shifting of voltage, the capacitor also it will charge and discharge, and with this charging and discharging of the capacitor, the output of op-amp it will shift from plus Vsat to minus Vsat, or we can call this as L plus to L minus. Now, the generation of waveform, it depends upon various parameters, and the most important parameters, they are R and C. Why? Because the shifting of voltage from plus Vsat to minus Vsat or L plus to L minus, it will depend upon the charging of capacitor and the discharging of the capacitor, and this charging and discharging of the capacitor, it is regulated by R and C. That is why the time constant, means if we talk about the time constant, it will depend upon R and C. So, tau will be R and C. This is the factor which decide the T1 time and T2 time, that is the on time of the waveform and the off time of the waveform. So, these parameters, they should be chosen very properly so as to decide the on time and off time of the waveform that we want to generate. So, T1 and T2, they both depend upon the RC, time constant of the circuit. So, R and C, they should be chosen very properly. Now, we will derive the equation for the time interval of square wave, and that will depend upon the charging and discharging of the capacitor. Now, during the charging interval T1, the voltage V minus across the capacitor at any time t, it will be given by V minus is equal to L plus minus bracket L plus minus beta L minus e to the power minus t by tau. We will put V minus is equal to beta L plus. So, beta L plus, it will be L plus minus L plus minus beta L minus e to the power minus t by tau. If we put the value of V minus as beta L plus, we will get this equation. Now, we will take L plus as common. What will be the equation that we will see? It will be L plus minus beta L minus e to the power minus t by tau is equal to L plus minus beta L plus. So, this will be L plus 1 minus beta, and here it will be, if we shift L plus to left hand side, it will be 1 minus beta L minus by L plus e to the power minus t by tau is equal to 1 minus beta, or e to the power t by tau, it can be written as 1 minus beta L minus divided by L plus upon 1 minus beta. And to get this equation, we will take the natural log, that is ln. So, if we take the natural log, we will get the equation of T1 as tau ln 1 minus beta L minus divided by L plus, and that is divided by 1 minus beta. This is the T1 time period. Similarly, we can find out the T2 time period also. How it can be find out? We will put the value of V minus as beta L minus in this equation, and we have to transform the equation in this form, and we will get the final equation like this. But the T2 equation, it will be tau ln 1 minus beta L plus divided by L minus. Here it is L minus divided by L plus, and here it will be L plus divided by L minus and upon 1 minus beta. Now, to find out the total time period, that is t is equal to T1 plus T2, we will add both the time periods, that is T1 and T2, and we will get the final equation of this time period as t is equal to 2 tau ln 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta. Now, we will see how we can calculate the time interval for any square wave. The given circuit of a stable multivibrator, we have the circuit of a stable multivibrator. These are the feedback resistance, and these are the RC charging discharging path. For this circuit, we have to find out the frequency of oscillation. We know the equation for time period of a square wave, it is 2 tau ln 1 plus beta divided by 1 minus beta. This is the equation for the time period of the square wave that will be generated from this astable multivibrator. From this time period, we can find out the frequency of oscillation also. Frequency of oscillation will be 1 upon t. So, first of all, we have to find out this time period, and then we will take its 1 upon t and find out the frequency of oscillation. Now, in this equation, first of all, we will see which are the parameters that we have to calculate. The first parameter is the beta. Now, what is beta? From this feedback path, we can see beta is R1 divided by R1 plus R2. And if we see the problem, the value of R1 is 100 kilo ohm and the value of R2 is 1 mega ohm. So, put the value, this is 100 K and this is 100 K, this is 10 to the power 6 ohm, or it can be written as 100 K divided by 100 K, it can be written as 1000 K. So, the equation will be, so we will get 100 divided by 1100. So, the value of beta, it will be 0.09. This was the first parameter. The second parameter is tau. Tau is what? It is the product of R and C. The value of R, here we can see it is 1 mega ohm, that is we can say 10 to the power 6 ohm, and the capacitor is 0.01 microfarad, it means 10 to the power minus 6. So, the value of tau, it will be 0.01. Now, at last we will put all the values. So, t will be 2 times tau, value of tau is 0.01, ln times 1 plus beta is 0.09, divided by 1 minus 0.09. If we will solve this, we will get t as 0.003596, and to calculate the frequency of oscillation, f will be 1 upon t, that is 1 upon 0.003596, and it will be 258 hertz, and it will be 258 hertz. So, the frequency of oscillation, it will be 1 upon t, we will put the value of t, and it will be 258 hertz. So, in this video lecture, we have discussed the generation of a square wave using astable multivibrator, and the time period for the generated wave, it has been calculated, and finally one numerical problem has been solved for the time period of the square wave. Thank you.